What's up? Uh-oh, you're
What
muted.
Uh-oh.
We all here?
ready to go.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? How are you guys doing today? I don't think I've talked to you yet.
Doing awesome.
Yeah?
Good day. It's Friday.
I love the hair. The hair's looking glorious.
Thank you. Oh, you're talking to Zappy.
No, you're talking to you.
I'm talking to both of you. John's over in Amsterdam right now, and he made a post on Facebook yesterday saying that he was going to start the most important relationship he could in a new place, which was his relationship with his barber. And I commented that I knew how he could save a lot of money on haircuts, but I don't think he really liked it.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Michael, you got Kirsta to smile. Oh, how about that? I guess you don't smile very much, Kirsta.
No, I'm very serious.
Jeff says he's doing good. Donna says happy Friday. Facebook user is back for Q4. Facebook user never let us down. Sophie is here with some emojis. Like I like it. So today, everybody, whoop. There we go. Try that again. We're going to be doing product teardowns. So the last teardown we did, let's see, 2 weeks ago, got a ton of positive feedback. We had a lot of people reaching out to me. I know folks reached out to Kirsta and Zappy on IM and some other areas and just said that they really appreciated it. I even got emails from people saying that they really liked the product teardowns. So we thought, hey, maybe we'll do another repeat. Plus, we've got a little bit of a special announcement for everybody at the end of this. So stay tuned, watch to the end to hear the special announcement. Kirsten and I have got something really cool that we've been working on that we're excited to share with everybody. So before we begin, you know how we like to kick things off around here with a little toast. So raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks, and join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, higher cheap CPMs, and higher CACs to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs to enable ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells, to winning products and repeat sells, and to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Are you ready?
Oh, yep.
Drink.
Cheers.
Kirsta, are you drinking like a shot of espresso?
Yes.
Dude, hold that up to the camera. That was legit. Look at the crema on that. That is awesome. Do you have a fancy espresso machine?
I have a fancy coffee machine.
Dang, man. That's awesome.
You know, Michael, we need to get some shots for Jim and I so that when we're doing some on these.
Yeah, there we go.
Espresso.
A little shot of espresso before every video. I dig that. I'm a coffee nerd a little bit, so I'm totally geeking out right now. I'm going to have to connect with Kirsta afterwards. Talk more about that. All right, everybody. You guys ready for today's Coffee with Michael? If you could, like this post, like it, react to it, give the post some love. It's going to help get a little bit more visibility in Facebook land. And then also tell us where you're watching from in the comments. We have ShineOn employees right now in Amsterdam, setting up the Amsterdam facility. Big news for you on that. Probably coming early next week. We're super excited about that. We've had some test orders ship out from Amsterdam. They're being delivered in record time. I think we had an order that was delivered in like 2 days to the UK, 3 days to Germany. I mean, it was just, you're getting the same delivery times as you would normally get in the United States over in Europe now. It's freaking amazing. So we're super excited about that. Let's see here. We got South Korea in the house. We had, I think, New Zealand in the house earlier. NL. Is that New Zealand or Netherlands?
Well, maybe.
Or maybe that was supposed to be an emoji and Facebook messed it up.
Michael, can you remind people how they can change their name from Facebook user again?
Oh, yeah. So appreciate that, Zap. So if you actually look in this post at the bottom of the post, you can go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. The URL is actually at the bottom of the post. If you click that, you can give Facebook permission to show us your name so that we actually know who we're talking to here, and it doesn't just show up as a Facebook user. So we got Gary from Atlanta, Khalid from North Africa, Morocco, Canada. Jeff is from Canada here. We've got, let's see, Justine from Melbourne, Facebook user from the UK. Another Facebook user from Alberta. I like it. We got Vincent from California. Let's see. It's kind of early. It's 8:12 there. So perfect time for coffee. You tuned in at just the right time. We've got R&H Brands from Chicago, the Windy City. We've got Facebook user from Santa Barbara, Texas. Man, where are our international people at?
Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Texas might as well be international. It's like a whole different country, but so is California, really. All right. So we got Panama. I like it. Vietnam. Welcome from Vietnam. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Do we have anybody on from Europe here? We moved this early to get folks from Europe, and I don't think anybody's on.
Someone had a question of German people here, so I'm not sure if that's someone German or not.
Norway. We're still talking acronyms here. Slovenia. There we go. Let's see. Oh, Stephen from the UK. I forgot we did have a few folks say they were from the UK. So welcome. We got France showing up. Or are we still talking acronyms? I don't even know anymore. We're going to move on. Thank you, everybody, for joining this week's Coffee with Michael. We are going to get into some teardowns. This has been fun. We got the Czech Republic coming in. There we go. I'm liking it. We've got a big announcement on the Amsterdam facility coming, so stay tuned on that. It's going to be pretty cool. Germany, now they're all showing up. They're coming out of the woodwork. All right, testimonials. Miriam, just got my first sale. I'm so happy. This is the first day I've been running ads. I use a D30 method. That's the dirty 30 method that Kirsta has pioneered. The campaigns don't show where the order come from. This is a tracking thing we won't get into here. I don't think we're going to have time. One sale. Congratulations, Miriam. Love to see the first purchase. You've got some swag coming your way. Somebody from my team will be reaching out. If you guys want some swag, stay tuned. We've got a little instruction here at the end on how you can get it too. Then Gimma, I actually really love this one. OMG, my first sale. I've been crying for an hour. The struggle's real. I've been in POD space for 2 years with 2 stores and 0 sales. Then COVID hit, and I was worried about shipping if I ever got any sale. That's when I found the ShineOn app, but I didn't join the Facebook group. Fast forward to June of 2021, I finally decided to check out the group, and I was amazed. I've learned so much from Michael, Zappy, and Jim, and the rest of the ShineOn team. That includes you, Kirsta. More than I did from courses I had paid for in the past. You've changed my life, and I truly believe anything's possible. Thank you for giving me hope again. I love this testimonial. This makes everything we do over here totally worthwhile. Thank you so much for sharing this. You've got some swag coming your way. What'd you say, Zappy?
I just said thank you, Gemma. That's really kind. We're happy to do it.
Absolutely. So welcome to the family. We love to have you here. Keep pushing. Q4 is the time to be alive when it comes to e-commerce. You are in the right space, and I think ShineOn's the best entrepreneurial opportunity in the history of the world. And I mean that, and I think I can back that up. So you have found a very unique opportunity as we move into Q4 this year. Steven, broken through that 5K mark. Woohoo! May not be earth-shattering, but hopefully, dude, this is earth-shattering, especially if it's your first time, man. It's amazing. Hopefully the lessons learned along the way in the past 6 months will pave the way for an almighty Q4. If you've already done 5K, I'm almost certain you're going to have a gigantic Q4 because the sales volume, it's very difficult to explain to people. It goes up exponentially as we get closer to Christmas. It is not a linear increase. Like it basically from the middle of November onwards, the amount of sales that are out there it's just going to blow your mind. It's unbelievable. So huge thank you to Michael, Ronnie, Suhail, Jim, Kirsta, and Zappy. You guys are awesome for sharing your knowledge. So thank you very much, Stephen. You've got some swag coming your way. We appreciate you.
He's joined our coaching group as well, so we should be able to help him accelerate that.
Oh, awesome. So you're in the coaching group too. Congratulations on taking some action here. Stay tuned to the end because we're going to talk all about the coaching group, the different packages that we have, the programs we have, and things like that. You aren't going to want to miss it. All right, free swag. So each week we randomly draw 2 to 5 posts from the group, and we feature them in My Coffee with Michael, and you guys get some swag. So if you want to get featured, you want your chance to get some swag, drop a testimonial post with screenshots of your sales, drop some kind of value post on or educational post on what's working for you, or any other tips, tricks, and hacks that can help other people succeed. If you're engaging in the group and you're dropping high value content, we want to see it. We'll feature you here and we'll get you some swag over your way. We appreciate you. All right, latest news. We're going to get through this quick so we can get to these teardowns. So the 100, 100, 100 update, this thing has driven over 7,000 sales. Right, so we launched the contest. We had over 1,000 people sign up in 24 hours. The contest is closed now. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to join anymore. But of the people in the contest, we've had over 7,000 sales. Absolutely incredible. It was a really cool group where people are holding each other accountable. Tammy is leading that. She's done an amazing job. If you want to learn about it, even though it's too late to join, go to ShineOnChallenge.com. We also have a Facebook group. I believe the Facebook group is ShineOn Challenge as well. I don't know if we're letting people in the group anymore or not, but you might be able to kind of poke around and check that out. We'll probably run another one of these in the run up to Valentine's Day, and then another one for Mother's Day. So if you want to join, keep your eyes peeled because we'll have some more in the future. A quick look at the leaderboard here, which has got some bugs we're trying to work out. But Farhat here is 652 sales. Congratulations, Farhat. Then we have Win with 137 sales. I hope I'm saying that right, buddy. 273 sales, and so on. And you get points by either making a sale or uploading SKUs. So those are like individual designs that you plan on testing either on Etsy or on Amazon or in Facebook. So at any rate, love to see the massive action everybody's taking here. Great work. All right, shots of espresso. We had 2 of them released. I want to make sure you got to see one on selling high ticket items because we released Everlasting Love. I got a slide on that in just a minute. And then we also, Jim put together kind of one on a toolbox for success, which I've actually not had a chance to watch, but you're definitely going to want to make sure you don't miss those. So if you're interested, looks like both the shots of espresso the last 2 weeks have been from Jim. So search his name in the Facebook group or search for Shot of Espresso and you'll be able to find these and watch them. Etsy integration. Everybody's been asking about this. Wonder when it's going to launch, that kind of thing. I got an update this morning. There was one final very important bug that we were trying to work out of the integration, and they think we're on track to have that completely finished today for launch next week. So the goal is to have this thing out the door in your hands next week at the latest. I'm going to have to ask for your forgiveness a little bit and your grace, just because this is a very important feature in the integration. Like we had to make sure that the bugs were worked out on it. It wasn't going to be any good for us to launch this thing with some critical bugs and then you're having trouble syncing orders with Etsy or something like that. It's too important. We know how important it is to make sure that your Etsy customers are having a great experience. So we wanted to make sure that we took the time to do it right. So next week is when that probably is going to launch. Everlasting Love. We kicked this out the door. Cool thing about this product, it is solid gold. It's 10K solid gold with diamonds. It's awesome. So these here are not cubic zirconia. They are real diamonds. I think diamond shards are the actual term for these. You can sell these for about $199. I believe our base cost is about $125. So you're looking at a $75 margin. And I promise you, if you hit the right message card on this product, you could sell this for even more than $199. Guaranteed. If you hit the right message card on this that's selling like hotcakes, you'll probably be able to push the $250 range with this particular product. Kirsta, do you have anything to share that you'd like to share about this product? I know you've been testing with it.
I was just going to say a lot of people are doing the $239, $250 price point. So I think the $199 will be selling it short.
So there you go. You have like between $75 and $150 margin on this product. So it's going to be an incredible product. Also, don't forget, you have like Etsy. You can throw these up on an Etsy store, or you can just have this hanging out in your store. Kirsta's had a ton of sales on this where he's led with a different hero product on Facebook ads. Someone comes to his store, customers in his store, they see this product and they buy it. So this is a great product just to have kind of hanging out because it's an opportunity for someone to pick up and buy.
Yep. So just pair your winning message cards with the same necklace. Don't flood your store with products. Try to keep, sort of eight or so per collection. So you have your relevant products at the top so they can come and buy the higher ticket items as well.
Yeah, 100%. The other cool thing about this product is it comes with this really beautiful certificate of authenticity. So this goes in every single order that goes out with this particular product. So, I mean, it's just, we are going to change print on demand. You just wait for 2022. We've got some plans that are going to blow everybody's mind in 2022. All right, product launch update. So these have been kind of pushed in November. Some of these were bugs we needed to work out. We discovered some, how would I put this? When you're running a large scale operation and you're having new machines and things like that, there are always problems that kind of come up. Well, we have learned some things about like leather, for example, like they have to be properly ventilated and there are OSHA requirements and there are various regulatory statutes that have to be met, all kinds of stuff. And then we've got to get landlord permission and project manager permit. There's all these things that just kind of stacked up that have resulted in some delays on these. These are coming in November. We are moving as fast as we can to get these available to everybody. I can tell you we are as excited as you are to get these things out the door. All the test products, all the samples we've done, all the testing we've done in-house, all of it is coming back superb. We know you guys are going to smash it in Q4 with these products. So we are excited to get them out the door as quickly as we can for you. Just looking in the chat here, making sure I'm not missing any important questions. And Metal Art too. I think Metal Art might go live next week if we're lucky. So if you're a praying person, please send some prayers on that because maybe it'll be live next week. All right, on-page add-ons. On-page add-ons. These are live now on the platform. I'm reiterating it in case you missed the announcement. This was my most anticipated feature of all of 2021. I've been looking forward to this thing literally since January. I think that this is the feature that will make 3-digit average order values the norm across the platform. Now, it's going to take us a little bit of time to experiment with the exact combination of add-ons that we want. We're going to be doing CRO testing on this to make sure it's getting the highest take rates possible for your pages. But this is massive. It's basically going to allow you to make a heck of a lot more money on every visitor that comes through the funnel. And don't forget, it's not just on-page add-ons. We also have post-purchase upsell funnels now. So if somebody buys something as an add-on and then they do like another upgrade in cart and then post-purchase, they have the opportunity to buy more. And it's Christmas. People are in buying mode. They're in spending mode. They're wanting to stuff their stockings with gifts, if you know what I'm saying. And also keep in mind that they're willing to buy a lot of things from one store because it saves them the hassle of having to go out and shop or go to a bunch of different stores or deal with crowds and things like that. So it's just, this is an amazing, amazing time. I come alive every year right around this time because the opportunity is so massive. So on-page add-ons, they're on the platform. You can also have the on-page add-ons on your app as well. Make sure you're using the ShineOn template. So if you use Shopify, you have the ShineOn app, make sure you're using the ShineOn product template, and you're going to be able to have on-page add-ons on the product template as well. So make sure you're using this. I promise you it's going to make you a heck of a lot more money as we move in through Q4. Just a quick reminder to everybody, we CRO tested a completely brand new page. It resulted in a 25% uplift in conversions. That's going to be live on the platform soon, so stay tuned. And then we also did a huge CRO boost on the package protection. We got it, the take rate all the way up to 10% on that. So that's looking amazing too. Again, it's just money, 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 money as we move into Q4. We're trying to help you succeed as much as possible. All right, and then finally, the best way to check out announcements here, in case you missed any, and there have been a lot as we've moved into Q4, just go into the Facebook group up at the very top. If you're on desktop, you're going to see like a little announcements link. Click that link. Basically, anything that's important is tagged as an announcement, and you'll be able to scroll through there and always see the latest news. Woo!
All right. Take a breath.
Stuff, man. But it's good stuff, and we're all excited for it. Let's jump over to Miro. You guys still have the links for that?
Yep.
All right, good. We are going to do our product teardowns. Bear with me here and let me get over there. Share screen. All right, product teardowns. So again, I told you we have another announcement here kind of at the end. So we're probably going to spend, I don't know, we'll see how many of these we get through. I don't want to run too terribly long on it because we did this 2 weeks ago and then we have this other announcement. But let's jump into it. So I'm going to zoom in here. The text on this one's kind of small. This is our first product teardown. Why don't we do the same thing we did last time, guys, and take turns? We can start with Zappy if you're ready, Zappy. You don't feel like we're putting you on the spot. Why don't you kick us off on this one, and then we'll kind of do a roundtable.
Yeah. So when I first look at this, I'm just thinking that the heading could be larger. It's the first thing that people see on the design really is that top part. Is it to my wife, to my husband, to whatever. I really like the script typeface that you used here. I think that's nice, but I probably would just bump that up a little bit. So what does it say? To the love of my life. Yeah, I mean, it's a simple design like we teach. I think that, let's see, what does it say? You are my one and only, my happily ever after, my dream come true, my soulmate, my best friend. My heart is eternally yours, and I am yours forever. I love you. I really don't have any complaints about the message itself. I'd probably make the bottom larger too. I just really feel, not that it has to just completely be exploded here, but I would still fill this space more. Maybe even make "I love you" a little bit larger. You can bump it down a little bit, just so it's really legible. Especially when you're using it for an ad image. It's important that people can read it, really. So we want those we have these close-up shots, and we want to be able to read the message right there in the ad too. So that helps with some of that as well. So I don't know if I have much else to really say about that. I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
Can I go next?
Yep, you're up, buddy.
So personally, I would probably stick to something proven for the top section, like wife, soulmate, future wife, girlfriend, something like going back to the greeting card style. While something like this could work, like when you change the to person, this is something I'd try after I qualify a phrase. I wouldn't start with something ambitious. Not to say that it can't work. It can take a little bit longer to get something off the ground, which is more ambitious in terms of the recipient. So I would probably go back and choose a proven receiver at the top, and potentially at the bottom if you're doing husband to my wife, love your husband sort of style. So that would be my first correction here. I'm not a big fan of the cursive font personally, but some people may be. Some people may like that style. So generally when I do something like this, I probably not go with it for my cold traffic, so not test or scale with it at the top. I'd probably introduce this somewhere in the middle, so people that have like clicked on my ad or like engaged with my Facebook page, so lower budgets, and test them with people that are already warm. I wouldn't probably start with something like this at the top, because when you start introducing, so that's one new element, and you've got these graphic elements, so you've got quite a few elements here which could create some rejections from the buyer. Sorry, not rejection, objection. So when we're putting these products in front of people in the news feed, we want to basically remove any objections they have, and that's the reason why when we use like UGCs, they're so effective, because it moves away from the thought of that it could be a scam. So that's why I'd probably stick, and I'd probably also make the font a bit bigger as well. So I'd probably go a bit bigger and use the spacing a bit more.
Hey, Kirsta.
Yep.
We're getting some feedback in the chat that they can't hear you.
Okay.
I'm hearing you okay, but that's the feedback we're getting in the chat here.
I mean, maybe a little bit low, but we can definitely hear you.
Yeah. How about now? Is that better?
Or maybe, yeah, if you can pull your mic closer, that's maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, you guys let us know if that's better. But sorry to interrupt, man. Why don't you go ahead and continue, and we'll figure this
That's
out.
pretty much all I had, but it's sad to hear that no one really heard anything.
No, we heard it.
I heard you. Matt Behe says you're loud and clear, and I trust that dude with my life. We need to have Matt on here. Matt, why don't you join us at some point? Facebook user says you're better. All right, so
Okay, great.
Look, I don't have much to add over kind of what Kirsta and Zappy have already shared, but I will say that I'm hesitant to mess with scripted fonts too much, just because I don't think everybody finds them easy to read. Specifically when they kind of like do these loop-de-loops and stuff like that. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that I tend to steer clear of them. I don't mind fancy fonts at all. I don't. But when you do a fancy font, it needs to be big and it needs to be very easy to read, right? So you don't want something that's too like slanted or too scripty with like lots of squigglies and things like that. I'm not necessarily saying that this one is in the ballpark. This one to me is a little bit in a gray area. It might just be fine, but it definitely, I definitely agree with everyone else's sentiments here that all of this is just, it's entirely too small. All of the text here has got to get bigger. This is one of those where, first of all, you know how much I had to zoom in on it just to make it legible on the screen. But I think that this one would be very difficult to read on a phone, on a cell phone. So you have to think about that. The other thing is there's very little contrast, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. You could probably make the text blacker. It needs to be. Yeah.
Yes, there's very little contrast between the body font down there and your like just your background here. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's getting lost. So you can either make it bold, you can make it bigger, you can make it darker. There's a few different things that you can do to fix that. But remember, as a general rule, people are on their cell phones, and you're going to have to stop them in a scroll, and they're going to have to be able to read what is right on the message card in the news feed, right? You don't want them to have to click. You don't want them to have to zoom in, nothing like that. You're going to lose them if they have to do any of that. It's got to be bold, in your face, and you got to slap them with some kind of sentimental, emotional, tear-jerking kind of phrase.
Yeah, because the other thing which can happen is if people are clicking the link to read the phrase and then they don't convert, Facebook will also it'll estimate your conversion rate, and that will also hinder the performance of the ad. So you don't want people clicking on the ad just to read the phrase, because that can also hinder the performance of the ads as well.
Yeah, so totally. I think the key takeaway ultimately is not necessarily, oh, should I use script or not? It's really about clarity. You want people, if you have a script that's really easy to read, like this one's, kind of on the edge, just make sure that it's clear. Make sure people can read it. Make sure it's clear, whatever font you end up using. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you have to go straight black, you go straight black with the coloring so that it's easy to read.
It's something else I want to point out too when it comes to picking your mock-ups. If you have a design that's kind of like this, where it's kind of like white and it's just black on white, and it's fine to do. I've hit a massive winner that was exactly like that. I would recommend using a different kind of mock-up image as your hero, because your product, like the message card, starts to get lost even in the background, right? Like it's washed out. But if you come down here and look at this mock-up, for example, look how dramatic it looks. You've already got the contrast. You've got the drama. This one already has a higher perceived value than this one. And it's just because like the product itself stands out. There's contrast. It's not getting washed out and competing against the background. I think we've pretty much ran this one into the ground. Want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Kirsta, you are going to be up on this one.
Sounds good.
There we go. So why don't you start by reading it and then take it away?
Sure. So Hooked on You. I may have reeled in I may have reeled in other fish in my life, but you are the only keeper. I love you. Yeah, so this is short and sweet. The phrase could probably use a bit more context. I have seen like short phrases work, but more times than not, it's the so this is probably what I would use when I do my phrase building as either the close or the hook. So this is the first part of the phrase, and then I would mix in something more emotional in the middle. So something like I'm trying to think of, but we'll come back to that. So let's go to the top. So we've got hooked on you. So again, this is going back to what I said in the previous phrase, but the previous example. The difference here is it caters to the niche, so that you can probably get away with doing this style. So you can probably go hooked on you for life sort of thing, as the title. But again, I would probably start with testing like proven receiver, like to my wife, and then still do like the fishing niche style card. I'm not sure about the graphics. I think that if you're gonna do this, probably can do it not like, because the colors, it's kind of like takes away from the design and the message. Like you're just looking at the graphics, and there's no appeal for my eyes to read the message. It's more like looking at the fish. Like you don't want the fish or your graphic elements to be the highlights of your message card. You want the message to stand out. So really, this part should be the first thing that I'm looking at to read, and I'm looking at the graphics. So when your eyes are like drawn away by like other elements in the design, it can take away from the key part. So again, so the greeting card style is probably where I'd start with something like this, and then transition into something more ambitious further down the funnel and test different variations of the design. And with the phrase, we can probably add one of the like popular phrases which you've probably seen time and time again, like the always remember phrase, or what was the other one? Like the first kiss, first date phrase. There's like quite a few phrases which you've probably seen time and time again when you're doing product research. So you can use one of the repeating phrases in the middle part to emphasize the emotional hook to the buyer. So this was good to get them to start to read the phrase, but you need some sort of substance, in my opinion, to really sell to the audience. Does that make sense? I think that's pretty much all I have on this design.
Yeah, totally, man. So what I'd like to add is I almost feel like this one's missing the niche. So like, is the niche, are we going for like someone that's kind of interested in the fishing kind of thing? And if so, then I think the design is a little off, because it's it feels a little cartoony to me. And I would expect it to be more like kind of rustic or outdoorsy, or something that aligns a little bit better with the kind of fishing kind of niche. That's if that's what you were going for on this.
Yep.
I do totally agree with Kirsta that like these fish in particular, they're very distracting. Maybe without color, like if they were grayscaled or something like that, maybe it'd be a little bit better and not quite as distracting. I totally agree with Kirsta. We need more meat on the phrase. Keep in mind, it's the phrase that pays. If they cry, they'll buy. Like if you can arouse almost any kind of emotion in somebody, and you do that with the phrase, they're going to be more likely to buy the product. That should be your number one prerogative as you move into this, is move people emotionally. And then they'll be more likely to buy. So at any rate, I would also add that this here it's much too small. Let me get my little marker out so you can see where I'm at. This here, the kind of intro, I feel like that's way too small. It needs to be a little bigger. It needs to be in your face. Yeah. Other than that, I think I pretty much agree on what Kirsta said. In the background, yeah, I kind of agree too. The background to me looks like a pair of blue jeans. It's like denim
Yep.
jeans, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think you need to really think about the niche and who you're going after. And if it's the fishing thing, you need to go study what has worked well in this niche and try to borrow some winning elements from things that you've seen that works well. This feels super cartoony to me, and I would expect it to be more kind of outdoorsy, more rustic, that kind of thing. So that's what I think I have to share. Zappy, what do you got?
Yeah, and I know that I agree with mostly everything you guys have said, and if everybody that's watching too, you realize that even we have some different opinions on certain things, and a lot of it does still come down to subjectivity. But at the end of the day, once you have your design, it's about the testing. We can think something looks great or looks terrible all day long, but it's really, there's core elements, foundational elements that we're trying to stick with here. But at the end of the day, is it going to sell or not? And that really only comes from doing a test. But I agree that the fish are distracting the way they are now. Maybe you could go with something a little bit more campy like that if it was like a for daughter or granddaughter, like a younger child kind of a thing. It still needs to be in balance with the whole design here. Like Michael said, you can sometimes take the color out, make them just white, and then put some transparency on it. Again, I would change this design, but if you were incorporating some elements, sometimes just being really subtle still can look elegant and beautiful. So you could take just maybe one fish and put transparency on it so they sort of blend in with the background, and it's just an accent on the side. Any of the visual elements should be complementary to everything else. So the star here is always really the jewelry, and then it's the message card itself. So the message itself. So when I was thinking, if you were going to incorporate something with fish, again, if it works, maybe you could have fish kissing on there. I think you were trying to go for, since this was I love you kind of thing, you're going for here's the male fish, here's the female fish. But if you did find like a little element or a place that you could put it in there, I think that could be something that would be cute, maybe with a little heart or something. But Hooked on You, I was with Michael too. I wasn't sure if this was intended to be, hey, for my fishing wife kind of a thing, or if it was just a general, play on words, hey, I'm hooked on you kind of thing. If you were going to go for something like that, that would be an option too. You could say to my, if your wife was just, women that are huge in fishing or whatever the thing is, to my fishing wife, to draw in a certain crowd if that's who you're really targeting. I also agree with Kirsta in terms of adding a little bit more element. I wrote something here. What does it say? That I just, off the top of my head, I said the day I caught you was the best day. Wait, see, what did I even type? The day I caught you was the best day. Was the day I got the best catch of my life. I think that if you're going to sort of play off of that, you could do something that is just really tugs more at the heartstrings somehow. I will say the first time I read the original message, I may have reeled up other fish in my life. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, oh, I've seen lots of other women or been with lots of other women or that sort of a sentiment. I think the more you can focus on the existing relationship, the better. So I probably would kind of scrap some of that in general, but that's just me. So I think those were my main thoughts overall with that one.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think we did pretty good on this one. Let's move to the next one. Is this one me?
Yep.
I think it is. All right. So to my beautiful daughter, wishing you a very Merry Christmas with all my love. All right. So first of all, this phrase just is not going to do it. No one's going to buy this. I wouldn't even spend any money on it. The problem is the phrase, it lacks emotional resonance, right? And that is 100% what you need to sell. If you have a phrase that hits on the emotional chords, right, that you need to, almost everything else we talk about is minimized. There's tons of forgiveness in everything else. If you have the phrase that hits on those emotional chords, then your design can be a little messed up. You could have even a jewelry piece that's a little messed up. Your ads could not be as great. Your copy could not be very good. You might have a website with some issues on it, but as long as you hit on that phrase, there's a lot of forgiveness in other areas. But if you miss the phrase, you're never going to be able to turn it into a winner. Just period. It's never going to happen, right? The phrase is 80% of what decides success or failure in this game, right? So this particular phrase here, just we wish you a Merry Christmas with all my love. It just completely lacks emotion. It's not going to resonate with anybody. I don't think anybody's going to buy this. And I also noticed you got everlasting love in here, which I assume is, we're selling at higher price points. There's just not enough here to drive that kind of sale. We need to go. I would highly recommend you go back, try to stick to a proven phrase, right? We've had lots of winning phrases come through. You can use the Franken phrases technique where you find some phrases from different bestsellers through product research, and you kind of patch together maybe your own little unique phrase based on proven segments of other phrases. You can do that. I know for the daughter niche in particular that you're braver than you believe, smarter than you imagine, stronger than you seem, or whatever. That particular phrase has sold, buku dollars. I think it's a good opportunity to do some Franken phrasing, maybe with that, and you could add that here. Then when it comes to the actual, was somebody speaking up? No. When it comes to the actual design itself, the fonts could maybe use a little bit of improvement, but I think they're big. The phrase is small enough that the fonts are big and they're kind of legible. I'd probably reserve my critique on the fonts for now, but I would shift more towards kind of the design elements. This is Canva clip art. You can see it from 10,000 miles away. I think when you use clip art kind of stuff, it's not to say it never do it, and it's not to say that it can't work. I don't mean that at all. But if you're not careful in kind of your selection and your messaging and then other design elements, it can make it look cheap. And in my opinion, this particular piece of clip art, it's kind of pulling down the overall value of the product. So I think that's what I have to share on this one. What do you got, Zappy?
So one thing that I was thinking too is this is something you might find in a store if you were just, going to go to the store, very basic, vanilla kinds of phrases. It's not that something like that couldn't sell. Let me put it this way. If you want certain products in your store that are just kind of there, maybe they're secondary products, this is something that someone might pick up. If you had it in your Etsy store, someone might see it. If you have it on your Shopify store, they've gone there for some other product, and they see it, this is something that they could potentially buy. Yes, I would still change some of the graphic elements, but I'm just making the point that you have products that are your lead products, the hot item that you are literally trying to convert people in ads for. Those are the ones that definitely have to be something that's unique, that really tugs at emotional heartstrings, that's going to get people in to purchase that product. But then you also have other things like this where they've come in from some other hot product and they may pick up this too. So keep that in mind. Some things aren't necessarily that they wouldn't work, but it's that it's not something that's going to get the click and get purchased from an ad too.
I would like to say I totally agree with that. All last year, we had kind of our own storefront, and we were driving email campaigns to it, and there were definitely products that people purchased that came to the store through like an email campaign that I never would have worked on Facebook, right? And I would agree that this product probably fits more into that category of product.
Yeah, for sure. And again, at this price point too, I would really recommend staying as elegant as possible with the design. Even if they got rid of the whole middle section there of the wreath and the snowflakes or whatever those are, that would make it better already. So at different price points, you are expecting a certain level of elegance, and so I think you just have to keep that in mind.
100%. What do you got, Kirsta?
I just have to agree. I think everything's been covered apart from, like, I'll just add and say it's another product which I'd probably test in the middle of funnel, like whether it be a catalog DPA or something like that, where I show more products of the store, because as you said, email campaign, people pick it up. So this will cater. So when you've got your winning product, your winning phrase at the top, there is people that will come through and not purchase that winning product. So when you do like the middle of funnel, when we talk about this part here, this is where you can show more products which are similar to the first product. So this could be something that gets you sales for people that are warm traffic already. So this is where you can show your different products and potentially pick up sales for a product like this in there. So this is capturing the people that don't want the winning phrase. So again, this is where you can potentially match your winning phrase with different jewelry pieces and higher ticket items. So you can run with something like interlocking hearts at the top and then upsell the solid gold in the middle, so you don't waste you don't spend a lot of your advertising spend on trying to sell the everlasting love at the top. So you can sell it in the middle, because some people want that little bit extra, and you show that little bit extra over here, so you get like really high return on ad spend in the middle, whereas you still get the most amount of conversions at the top. So that's what I would recommend, to just show it to people lower down that have already rejected the top product. They haven't converted on the top product.
Yeah, totally agree. And again, I mentioned it earlier, and Kirsta's talking about it now. I mean, he's actually had some sales like this, right? He's speaking from experience here that we've seen that work for this particular product. All right, why don't we do one more, and then we'll jump to kind of our announcement.
Yep.
We're going pretty quick today. I have to say real quick before we get into this next one that we did product teardowns last year around this time, and I'm amazed at how much improvement there is year over year in the products. It is seriously, it is truly unbelievable how much better all these message cards are compared to last year. Last year, we probably could have spent a half hour on every message card that came up. This year, it's most people, you're hitting kind of the right marks. It's clear you've been watching the trainings and taking action. So just congratulations. I'm super impressed with what you're putting out. All right. So is it Zappy's turn?
Yeah, I haven't looked at this one yet. So sometimes I like to look at it fresh too, just to get that first impression. So we got to my wife. I'll just read through it real quick. I know the distance is hard. I know I keep working long hour, but my day starts and ends with you. You don't cross my mind. You live in it. I love you forever and always. Love, your husband. Okay, so several things going on here. If at all possible, I suggest, you can't see my pen, but anyways, I'm circling wife. Make sure that at least the who it's to is easy to see. It's a little bit, covered over here, obviously. So I would put that up there. I kind of like the, this kind of a design I think would appeal to certain people, with black and then the red. I think it can work. I know the distance is hard. See, I think, okay, so a side note here, if you have certain words that really are worth bolding or changing the color, I think that can be a good strategy. Let me see if I can change my color here. Hold on. I want to circle things and I don't have the right thing. Okay, so like this, I think that can be good to choose certain words that can stand out in your message. Sorry, I'm playing around with these tools too much. Anyways, I know the distance is hard. I know I keep working long hours. So we have a typo here, of course, and there's no punctuation. So I'm sure it's supposed to be long hours. But my day starts and ends with you. You don't cross my mind. You live in it. So I don't know. It's just, I guess the phraseology is a little bit awkward to me in general. I think it has sort of some of the elements there. The love your husband part at the bottom is a little hard to read for me. I think that could be clear. I think you're maybe using the same as you did for the wife. For this large wife part at the top, I think that was okay. But at the bottom, it's a little bit harder to read. So maybe just make that clear font. What else would I say about this? I might sit here and think a little bit about the phrase and type something on the side. But if I was trying to, I don't know. So I apologize. I'm just sort of thinking through and looking at it. So I might be like, I know we've been apart for a long time. The distance is difficult, but you're always in my mind. You're always in my heart. My day starts and ends with you on my mind. I don't know. I think that could be a little bit more blending of the phrase there. And I apologize. I can't do it off the top of my head, but what do you guys got?
So for me, it's an attention thing as well. So the first thing that I see this red. I don't get drawn to the important part, which is the phrase. So you could tone this down and go like more of the mahogany, darker sort of, or like a purplish color, like just so it's not the centerpiece of the design of the necklace of the product, right? So you want the phrase and the receiver to stand out the most, and that also causes problems for the placement of 2 Maya. So like it's getting hit by the necklace because you're using all of this real estate to do this graphic image, which could work with this particular design, but I would probably test this later. So my first design would probably just be to my wife, and the message, you can do the bolding with the the highlighting of the phrase elements with the red, that's fine. But I would probably do this as like a second iteration, adding the graphic element, and then seeing if that improves conversion. I wouldn't start with using all this real estate to grab attention and draw away from the phrase, because the phrase is what sells. And that's pretty much all that I really have. I'd probably, since the message is a bit more short, I would probably make it bigger and move this down a little bit, and use a little bit more line spacing and some letter spacing to use up all of the space that I can here at the bottom.
My turn.
Yes, sir.
So, first, when it comes to the phrase, I know I keep working long hour. It should be long hours. So we have kind of a mistake there. I don't know if that's a spelling mistake or something deeper, where we're having issues with grammar because maybe English isn't the first language. Also notice, even though it's minor, I know I keep working long hour. There's no comma. There's no period. Like this bit of the phrase doesn't end correctly, and then it immediately goes into, but my day starts and ends with you. So I would recommend, if English isn't your first language, definitely pair up with somebody, get on a buddy system just to make sure things are being proofread before they're published. The next thing is, I actually feel like you have opportunity to perhaps experiment with niche, and that might be missed here. Now, I'm with Kirsta that the number one variable you should be focused on with testing is your phrase. You got to get the phrase kind of nailed down before you start doing some of the other experimental things. But just hear the phrase again. I know the distance is hard. I know I keep working long hours. My day starts and ends with you. You're describing a type of person, right? This could be, hey, could you maybe mute for me, Zappy?
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Still hearing that echo. Test. Maybe it's Kirsta. At any rate, you're describing a type of person. The distance is hard. They're working long hours, that kind of thing. So what comes to my mind is like a trucker, perhaps maybe a veteran, or somebody that has to travel a lot for a job, that kind of thing. And I actually think you might have opportunity here to niche down a little bit and go after one of those particular segments. So I don't think you should overlook that, but you definitely want to test the phrase first, do the other variables second. I completely agree there. I actually kind of like this font that was picked for the, I think my, hang on, let me get my pen ready for battle here. I actually kind of like this font. I think that's an okay font to do if you're going to do a fancy font and you want something to kind of stand out. Totally agree that this decal is way too much. It's too big. It's too in your face. It is completely distracting. When you look at this, your eye gets immediately drawn towards it. But the rest of it, to me, actually feels kind of elegant. This font here paired with this font here actually works for me. The size, I think, needs to be a little bit bigger. It needs to be more legible. I agree with everybody's other points on this. I feel like this is on track. It just needs some modifications, and then should go back out the door and retest it a little bit more. And I think that's what I have. You can probably kill this. Whoops, I'm supposed to be drawing an X over that. You can probably kill that altogether. And to be quite honest with you, you may not need that at all. You'd have to kind of play with that to see what looks good. But I think that's the feedback I've got. Zappy, what are you writing over here on the side?
I'm just typing some ponderings here. I'm not saying that this is... Never think that these are winning phrases here off the cuff, but this is just sort of how my mind works, at least. I was looking at the phrase, and you can do this for creating your own phrases too. Find a few different ones and pull different elements, or rewrite something, or kind of get the gist of a sentence or a phrase. And I know not everybody, it's not something that everyone can necessarily do, but that's basically how you can do it. Just look at a sentence. So I don't know, even though being at a distance is hard, loving you is easy. Despite long hours at work, you are always on my mind, and I long for when I will be with you again, or I always long for when I will be with you again. It's so hard because it's subjective. It's like, what's the difference between one phrase that's not emotional and one that is, or one that tugs at a heartstring and one doesn't? Sometimes it's hard to know that. So if you're not someone who, can dig in like that into emotion, or when you're writing your own stuff, it's hard. Find someone else, right? If you have a family member or a friend or something, at the very worst, say, hey, read this. Does this sound emotional to you? If you're writing for trying to do a two-daughter phrase from dad, if you're not a dad yourself, find a dad and say, hey, is this something that sounds like it resonates with you? Just something like that even. So anyways, those are my thoughts.
Totally. So why don't we're doing all right on time. Let's do this. We're going to throw the last one to the audience here. So here's the last one. I want to know what everybody else has to say about it. So you guys have been here. You've been taking notes because you're amazing students. I know you've watched all of our previous Coffee with Michaels. I know that you know how to do these message cards like the back of your hand. So in the comments below, we're looking for constructive criticism here, right? I don't want negativity. I don't want any, let's go easy on people. We're all trying to learn here. Let's get some constructive criticism in the comments for this. I'm going to go ahead and read it. You guys start typing up what you think about this one and what we can do to improve it. So looks like it's kind of got this pastel yellow with flower decals all over the place. To my mom, this is the love knot jewelry item, by the way. From the time I took my first breath up until this very day, you have gently lit my way like an angel. Always put me first for everything you do, coloring my days with fairy tales and sweet dream nights. I am grateful your arms are always open to comfort me when my feelings hurt. You are so special, a gift from above. Love, your daughter. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about it. So I'm going to read through the comments and we'll feature some that I think are on the mark. All you Facebook users out there, hit StreamYard.com/Facebook and allow it to see your name, because we've got a ton of people here that I have no clue who you are. So the phrase is too long, says one Facebook user. Maybe. It's definitely on the longer side. I agree with you there. I think the problem is it's just you can't read it. I think if it was bigger and larger, it is actually it's a little too long. But I think if it was bigger and larger, it would kind of minimize that effect. So no, I think you're on the money there. Good point. Text is small and cramped. Totally agree with you. It's being squeezed in between these decals, which aren't adding to it. And by the way, Kirsten and Zappy, if you have something to add here, feel free to jump in. Hard to read the phrase. Yep. Everybody, you're focusing on the phrase. Great job to you. You're definitely paying attention here. So we love that. Too many different kinds of flowers and colors. Messaging too small. Yeah, I do. I totally agree with that, actually. The this is different than this, which is a little weird because it starts to break symmetry, right? You've got symmetry up here, and you have symmetry up here, but then it gets broken down here. And, you know, that creates a distraction. It draws your eye. Your brain sees that, and it's starting to puzzle that out and trying to break it apart. So, yeah, I agree. That's a problem. Let's see.
Yeah, I think what another thing when we're talking about, you know, different kinds of flowers, you're kind of like, this is what when I was talking about objections from the buyers. So you have to find people that like these flowers, right? So when it's showing to the large audience, you know, some people might like sunflowers or different flowers. So you kind of have to cater to the buyer's flower preferences as well. So that's a thing where you're limiting the amount of people that can potentially buy it. And then, you know, in the middle of funnel, you can try different flowers. You can try red roses, sunflowers, and see which one works. And then you can try and bump that up to the top and see if it converts well in cold traffic. So that's basically my thoughts on like the flowers when you do them in designs. And yeah, just stick to one. Like, it's got the good idea at the top, but then, you know, we're going everywhere else at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I will say Love Knot is not necessarily a bad piece if you're gonna have some flowers. It at least kind of complements in terms of shape. So it's not incredibly distracting. Michelle says, hard to see phrase, flowers too big. Yep, agree with you. I think you're doing a great job because everybody's picking up on that. Love Knot doesn't pop out against pastel. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, there's no, the how would you put it? You lose some drama. Drama is going to raise the perceived value of a product. Right. So, and you can get drama, you can achieve that effect through contrast, which is why, you know, this particular mock-up tends to do pretty well. It's dramatic, you know, it feels more expensive. And yeah, I think having the Love Knot dropped against this, which is already kind of white, it's a lighter color on the value spectrum, dropping it right against this yellow kind of pastel, I don't think that works. So I think you're on the money there. Or at least it could be improved is probably a better way to put that. Let's see. I'm trying to see if we have any other comments here that are different. Contrast is missing. Yeah, we just kind of covered that. Leading space between the lines is too tight. Yeah, I would agree with that. So what Jeff is saying here is the space in between these lines is really tight. So look, it's a little hard to know if that's actually the issue or if the phrase is just so small, you know, because the leading space between the lines, I believe, scales proportionally with the phrase. So if the text were larger, I would imagine that spacing would be different. But either way, I agree with you. It's too cramped. It's too difficult. It's very difficult to kind of read this. All right, I'm just going to quickly look to see if anybody has anything unique or different to say about this one. If not, I think we're going to move on.
Yeah, so sometimes you can take some phrase like this and just shorten it up. You know, take that first line is kind of what I started doing there. It's a little bit off screen, I see, but let me start. You get to the end of writing something out, and you're thinking, oh, gee, this maybe it's too much. You can simplify it. So from the time I took my first breath up until this very day, you have gently lit my way like an angel. And so I just wrote something like, from my first breath, you have gently lit my way like an angel. Or, you know, not a lot shorter, but it still tightens that up a little bit. Sometimes less is more. A lot of times with phrases, just depends. So that's one way you could technically go through each line and kind of tighten some things up or just remove a sentence or here or there. What's that?
You know, I completely forgot to mention when it comes to the phrase, again, I think we've got some English issues or something going on, because let's just read it one last time, and then I think we'll wrap this up. From the time I took my first breath up until this very day, that kind of works, even though it's a mouthful. You've gently lit my way like an angel. You have an opportunity to rhyme there that was passed, and rhyming will help with the flow of a message any day, and it can also help increase the emotional resonance. Always, this is where the English starts to break down. Always put me first for everything you do.
Yeah.
There's some words missing there. That doesn't flow. I think maybe what you're saying is you always put me first in everything you do. There's some problems there that need to get worked out. Coloring my days with fairy tales and sweet dream nights. Okay, that's a little flowery, the language, and it could work. But given the other issue that we just came across, it makes me think there's some English stuff here. And here's what I mean. Coloring my days with fairy tales. It's flowery. There's nothing like actually broken there, but it's an odd use of language. Coloring my days with fairy tales. This would literally be the first time I've ever heard somebody kind of describe that. And then it says, and sweet dream nights. So again, it's flowery. There's no like actual laws being broken here, but it's an odd turn of phrase that we haven't heard before, right? And especially since we just tripped over this, always put me first for everything you do, it feels more like something kind of falling down in the use of English, and less like this is like an intentional use of prose, if that makes sense. I'm grateful your arms are always open to comfort me when my feelings hurt. So I think what you're trying to say there is when my feelings are hurt. That would be a turn of phrase that we're used to hearing. But when my feelings hurt makes it feel like, again, something in the English is falling down here. You were so special, a gift from above. That's probably okay and can work. But so I think that the phrase itself, even this, aside from everything else we've added here, probably needs a little bit of work. All right. That's all I have for this. I think we moved to wrap this up. Zappy, Kirsta, do you have any final thoughts you want to throw at this thing before we move on?
I think we've covered it.
Yeah, I think we've okay, got it. We beat this one to death. All right, let's get to our announcement. Share.
That was such a dramatic look there. It's almost like, whew, he's intense.
All right. So top tips. Look, we went over these 2 weeks ago. I think we've covered literally all of these throughout the day. I would like to move on to our announcement here. I'd recommend, pause the stream right now if you want to spend some time on this. And let's move on. All right, announcement. Oh, what's wrong with my emoji? That's supposed to be a right finger point. Okay, I need everybody to pretend we got a right. No, I'm fixing it. So we have launched coaching. So Kirsta has been working really hard on our coaching program. Bam. There we go. I don't know why that was a problem. And it is launched. So if you want to go check it out, go to coaching.shineon.com, coaching.shineon.com. There are two kind of programs you can join. Both of them come with this kind of core video essential. It's like a small mini course on core skills for running ShineOn products. And you can see that called out on the landing page right here. It includes a ShineOn Fast Track course. We've got some core skill videos that come with the coaching program that you can kind of go in and watch. And we're going to keep those kind of updated throughout time. So you're always going to be able to stay current on what's working, what isn't working, new trends. If something new comes out in our testing, we're going to be able to share that with you, all that kind of stuff. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. So we have the Fast Track, which is much thinner than Elite when it comes to the benefits. And we're going to talk about both of these. Fast Track's $199 a month. The Elite is $697 a month. So with Fast Track, and Kirsten, I'm gonna start throwing you some curveballs here. So we do some group coaching calls. We have peer calls and we have peer chat support. On top of that, the core skills video. So Kirsta, tell us a little bit about what the group coaching calls, what they are, what people can expect, that kind of thing.
Sure. So the Fast Track we created based on the core skills required to sell ShineOn. So this is more for, beginner level and intermediate level. So just to give you gold nuggets and fill in knowledge gaps, and also give you the foundations of what's needed. In the group coaching calls, we discuss relevant topics that are covered in Fast Track. So things like phrase building exercises, like product research over the shoulder. We also do ads over the shoulder. Some people may post their designs, and we can do kind of what we do here, teardowns, and just basically share insight. So if there's any updates or trends, things that we are testing and we're finding are of advantage or helping our campaigns, we do share them in the chats as well. So it kind of gives you like first-hand knowledge as things are progressing. So while they're not tested in depth, you still get access to things ahead of time. So it can help your results, and it can help accelerate your results as well.
Totally. And did you cover, you kind of, it looks like it sounded like you covered basically all of these. Did you kind of talk about the difference between the group coaching and the peer calls?
So the peer calls primarily are for the members of the group to come together. We will join those calls at time to time, but it's more for them to connect. So it's good to share insight and struggles with people that are going through the same journey as yourself, and kind of like the buddy system, which we were talking about earlier. You familiarize yourself with others that can propel your success. So you can help keep on top of each other's mindset. So keep them on par. So it's the peer support sort of thing happening. So like I found like talking with peers was very helpful to keep my mindset on track, and that's where the value is in the peer calls themselves.
Yeah, so you've got group coaching calls where Kirsta or somebody else from the media buying team, so like myself, Zappy, or Jim, will hop on a call, and it'll mostly be Kirsta, but we'll fill in some blanks there occasionally. And we'll hop on a call, and there may be a different topic that gets covered formally. It could be a Q&A session, could be open office hours, could be a number of things, but it's like a group coaching kind of setting. Then we have the peer calls. So this is a second call you get every single week, where you get to hop on with other people also in Fast Track or Elite, depending on which one you sign up for. And you're going to be able to share what's working, what's not working. Maybe you have a product that you want torn down that you're comfortable sharing with others. You can do that in that type of environment. You can get to know each other. You can hold each other accountable, all that kind of stuff. And then we also have chat support. So we actually have a Slack channel dedicated to Fast Track and to Elite members. And you're going to be in Slack with your peers. And we're doing our best to make sure that we're creating an environment that's positive, that's upbeat, that's optimistic, where other people have like a growth mindset on how we can move forward into the future. We're trying to create kind of a culture in this place where everybody will have the greatest chance to succeed. So that is Fast Track. So again, with Fast Track, you get the kind of core skills videos, which will be updated over time as we go. And then you get the one group coaching call a week with other Fast Track members, a peer coaching call a week with other Fast Track members, and then the Slack support. So you'll be in a Slack channel with other group coaching members as well. Then we'll get over to Elite. So this is $697 a month. Again, it comes with core skills videos, plus, so you get everything that's in Fast Track, plus you get some advanced skills videos. So these might be videos on scaling, using UGC to the greatest effect. It might be some new method that's like literally just come out, that's hot off the presses, that's maybe a little bit more advanced. It might be breakdown of like different marketing strategies. We referenced multiple times today, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. This is where we're going to get a little bit deeper. Now, again, don't think you're buying a course, right? It's like you're buying a package of content that's going to update throughout time and is going to get better throughout time, right? It's important that you keep that in mind if you make a purchase, because what you have today is likely going to be different than what you have next month and then the month after, and the month after. And it could be that the content is going to change too as we get closer to Valentine's Day. It might shift to more stuff that's going to be relevant for Valentine's Day. If it gets to Mother's Day, it might shift again. If we get into Q2 and Q3, where we kind of have a little bit of a dead zone with holidays, again, the content's probably going to shift to help support you during those time periods. All right, so let's get into some of the benefits of Elite here. So first of all, you get all the fast track stuff. We already covered that. Also, with Elite, you're going to get 2 free message card designs per month. So 2 free message card designs per month. Kirsta, let's talk about that real quick. How do you get the message cards? What do you have to do to request them? Are they unique message cards? Are they message cards for the group? How does that work?
So the free message cards are unique to the member, so they can request a design. We have a pin post in Slack where they can message one of our graphic designers to create the design. So this basically takes some of your time from actually creating the designs. You can just populate the phrase and articulate, I just want a simple design. And a lot of members have come to familiarize, just do it how Kirsta would do it. So they just basically say, I want like my style, and then the graphic designer will come up with the design, and you can test it within normally 24 hours. So it gives you a lot of acceleration of your time. So it's just an added benefit. I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, and so this is somebody that you've worked closely with. They already know, like all these best practices we've talked about with message cards, they already know all this stuff. So when you request one of these message cards, you're going to get one that's kind of top of the line right out of the box. Next, we've got the Elite group coaching calls. So again, it's kind of the same thing as the group coaching calls for Fast Track, except it's just Elite members. The content's going to be a little different. We have the Elite peer call. So if you're in the Elite group, you'll have a peer call with other people in Elite, right? So this is likely going to be people that are a little bit more advanced, a little bit down the road in terms of their print-on-demand e-commerce journey. You also get premium seller support. So as a seller, we've got some special stuff kind of set up so that people inside this group, if you specifically have a problem, you're going to get premium support. We've worked out something with the customer support team to make that happen. You're also going to get chat support from the coaches. So Kirsta, what's the chat support from coaches?
So basically, this allows people to get support on whatever matters they need help with, whether it be ad specific questions, or if it's just like message card review before launching ads. So anything they really need support with, we're there to help them. This has provided quite useful for previous members and current members to support them along their journey. But this can sometimes I've found like just little things that I've helped people with to correct has accelerated their campaign. So it can just be like a second eye of like on your design that can change it in a totally different way and accelerate it. So just having that second eye on a lot of the things, like even Zappy and I have slightly different takes when we're digesting products. So having that ability to share what you're trying to do, and we can help and see if we can push it over the line for you.
Dig it. Then we also have exclusive products. So exclusive products are exactly like it sounds. We're actually going to have, it's going to take us a little bit. We don't have these out of the gate, just being totally transparent, but we are going to have products that are only available to people inside of Elite. We have a whole plan moving into 2021, and we think we have a really neat kind of opportunity to give all of our Elite members here. So stay tuned for that. Kirsta, were you going to say something? Thought I heard somebody.
22. We're moving into.
Man, I'm stuck in 2020. I can't get out of it. I make this mistake all the time. Yeah, in 2022, we've got kind of a whole plan for making this a reality. Also, early access products. So what we eventually hope to do is we have new products kind of come off the press. We're going to give early access to all of our Fast Track and Elite members. So you guys are going to get our Elite members, not Fast Track. So you're going to get early access to a product, which is going to give you a huge edge in the marketplace because you'll likely have a product that maybe people have never seen before, and you're going to have very minimal competition kind of going after it and selling it. So early access products as well. Then we have exclusive user-generated content PSD. So these are UGC PSDs. So we've got all kinds of UGCs we take literally all the time. We are going to start making some of the PSD files available to elite members so that you can take your message card. It's actually really cool the way it works. You're going to be able to go into Photoshop, find the layer of the message card. You can double click it, drop your message card in there, and it will automatically kind of render out your message card on the UGC. So we're going to be able to get you unique UGC that's not on the platform, that's not already in the rendering system or anything like that. And you're going to be able to get that early and exclusively so that you have kind of an edge in the marketplace. We also will have a dedicated account manager for you. So, we have account managers here. It's something that sets ShineOn apart. You'll have dedicated account managers in Elite, and we're currently kind of working that process out. And then finally, UGC videos. So the way the UGC videos work is you're going to have to request them. We are going to strongly encourage that you only request them after you've reached a certain sales threshold, like at least 25, 50 sales. We kind of want you to have a proven product here. And then we'll work with you on getting you a unique UGC video to help you scale that product to the next level. So that was a lot. I think we covered it all. Kirsta, did I miss anything?
Yeah, so I just wanted to go back to the exclusive UGC. So this was one thing that we had in Triumph, which was previous ShineOn coaching, that helped accelerate a lot of people's campaigns. So basically all we were doing is taking UGCs, cutting out the message card and putting our message card in, and just testing with those. So this is one thing which can eliminate the primary objection when people are seeing these products in the newsfeed is this real? Like, or is it a scam? Like that's the main thing which accelerated. So now that ShineOn has UGCs, that's good. But we also have, like, we take a bunch of photos and we have additional UGCs, which, will be different from everyone else. And the other thing is, while we're also going to have the advanced rendering, which is going to do a lot of this automatically, again, we'll have like a library on top of the advanced renderers. So maybe we'll change the tone of the necklace, make it a bit lighter or darker, just to distinguish away from every other creative. So it just gives that slight edge, which can make a significant difference.
Yeah, so I think these are incredible programs, especially right now. We're in Q4. We're in the thick of it. Sales are going to do nothing but increase. If you've ever hit a winner, you know that the price for these programs, it's basically chump change compared to what you can stand to earn if you hit a product. And don't forget, right after Christmas, you have Valentine's Day. It's another massive holiday, followed very quickly by Mother's Day and then Father's Day. We've got a whole new product line that's going to hit super well for Father's Day this year. So we're super excited across the board. Let's move into some Q&A. We'll make this quick. What questions do you have about the coaching program? So what questions do you have about this stuff? Start dropping it in the chat now. We're going to start answering those. If you're on the fence, you're trying to make a decision, you want to know what something covers or doesn't cover or anything like that, go ahead and drop them in the chat now.
So while we're waiting for that, I will mention that there has been a couple of members that joined Fast Track that have upgraded to Elite because they found products by going through the content, and they want to scale them. So Elite covers a lot of more advanced sort of Facebook strategies on how to scale. So if you are at the starting sort of level, you'd probably start with Fast Track. And if you are more advanced, or you've been selling for a while, or you've been selling t-shirts, or you've been doing other sort of stuff, then probably Elite is more suitable.
Yeah, so basically, if you're new, Fast Track. If you've got any level of experience, probably Elite is the best place to go. Hey, Kirsta, could I ask you to just keep your trigger finger on that mute button when you're not talking? Thanks, brother. All All right. So again, coaching.shineon.com. If you want to sign up for either of these, coaching.shineon.com. Let's start looking at some of these questions. So, man, I think you're onto something here. Thanks, Mauricio. Something we've been working on for quite a while now. Facebook user asks, how many spots in Elite? Is there a cap on this, Kirsta? You're muted. Kirsta?
Oh yeah, I'm muted. I think we set 50 for Elite or for the launch.
Yeah, 50 just to, we want to make sure that we can support everybody, and we also want to make sure, there's a lot of stuff in here that we need to fulfill on our side, and it's kind of the first time we've launched coaching programs, so we just want to make sure that we're going to be able to support everybody and their needs, and then scale appropriately as we decide to take on more members. So right now it's 50. So if you want in, I'd go do it. I'm not sure how many we're at, but I believe we're over halfway full. So you're going to want to hurry up if you want to get into Elite.
Yeah, I think we're at 3/4.
Okay, so we're getting close to being completely topped off there. All right, let's see. Is UGC video going to be video or still shots? Well, it's probably going to be video. We have a few different video, like I don't know if template's the right word, but of like shots and scenes that we know we can kind of go through to make a good UGC video. So it'll likely be video. However, we're open to experimenting with all kinds of stuff to help you scale. If you win, we win. So we're pretty flexible as far as that goes. All right. How many hours of video? So again, I would I'll let you take a shot at this one too, Kirsta, but I would you're not buying a course, you're buying coaching. So the hours of video content are likely going to grow every month, but also don't forget you have the group coaching calls. There are all these other benefits too. So I wouldn't get completely focused on the hours of video. Not to mention, I would also add that what's more important is the content and the quality of those hours as well. I've taken lots of courses that were bloated, that with just junk in them, and I've taken other courses that were 6 hours that were just it was all killer, no filler. So Kirsta, what do you think?
So this is actually like I had previously to ShineOn coaching. It was called Triumph Community, and we had hundreds and hundreds of hours of content, and I literally went there and sifted through all of it and picked the best and most relevant stuff, and I confined it into the smallest amount of time possible. So it literally kind of is like a step by step. So we set up platform, and we attach a domain, create like a Facebook business manager, all the assets needed to run ads. So it's like literally everything you need to get started. Also it goes into Canva, how to create a message card, how to do phrase research. So it covers everything you need really in a short amount of time. So I don't know the exact number of hours, but I think it's irrelevant. I think the quality is the key here. So yeah, it literally is just supplemental content that will grow over time. So as things get better or new trends or strategies come out, they will be added. Like at the moment, I'm working on a new bid cap strategy, which is going to come out in Elite, I think within the next week. That's been quite stable for about 2 weeks now. So like a lot of these strategies which come out in Elite have been tested with tens of thousands of dollars of ad spend previous to release. So it's all tried and tested stuff, and we've had previously top media buyers join Triumph or ShineOn coaching now to learn those strategies, which is crazy to think that they work that well. So yeah, I would highly recommend for anyone that's serious about it to consider it.
By the way, I'd like to vouch for that too. Like when you were doing your coaching last year, we would see your students rise through the ranks. And I would always know too. I'd see the design and I'd go, $10 says that's a Kirsta student. And most of the time I was right. All right. Can you start in fast track and move into elite later?
Yes. So as I mentioned before, we actually had that case happen a couple of times already. So I would definitely start, and that way you keep your capital expenditure low. And if you start to make money, obviously you want to accelerate that and invest it so you can upgrade. Yeah. So we wanted to keep the barrier of entry as small as possible. And, you know, once you start seeing that progress and you start getting the results, then obviously you want to accelerate that. And that's why we have the elite to give you the best possible support we can to push it to the next level.
All right, I think we're going to take maybe 2 more and then wrap this up. So Facebook user asks, so on fast track, do they take you step by step till the product is up? One thing I'm going to throw this to you, Kirsta, but before I do, I want to say that we already do this for free for everybody. So if you go into the ShineOn dashboard, so I'm talking about the dashboard, and you just scroll down a little bit, like underneath the chart or whatever's at the very top of the screen, you're going to see an entire course we have made that we give you for free. I believe the course is called How to Get Your First Sale, or Road to Your First Sale, or Quick Start course. We went through a few different names, so I can't remember exactly which one we stuck with, but it's right there. And I think it's 16 videos. It literally walks through everything you need to get started. All the best practices. There's some over the shoulder stuff, things like that. Fast track and elite is for those that are they're beyond. It's not their first day in ShineOn. Obviously, if it is your first day, you can still benefit immensely from the course. Or the coaching. I'm just saying that some of the kind of basic steps are already there. We already tell you how to get up every morning, put your trousers on, and get to work. This stuff will just help you be more effective. All right, so Kirsta, what do you think? So on fast track, do they take you step by step till the product's up?
Yeah, we pretty much covered that just now. It literally has everything you need. So how to create a message card, how to set up ShineOn platform, how to put the pixels in, how to create everything on Facebook side of things. So business manager setup, what the account structure looks like as an overview, and how all the assets come together to give you your ads. And yeah, it literally is like everything you need. And it's got Dirty 30 method explained in there as well. And that's where it leaves off. So if you need anything more advanced, then obviously you can upgrade to elite after you go through the initial journey of getting your sale, your first 50 sales or 100 sales, and then you can transition over.
All right, so we're going to take one last question. We're going to wrap this thing up. Someone says it's billed monthly. How easy is it to opt out after a month or a few months?
So it's no obligation. So anytime it's cancel anytime. So anyone that feels that they're not getting value or it's not for them, they can just go back to the Teachable subscription and unsubscribe, and they will be no longer billed monthly.
Yeah, guys, we're freaking ShineOn here. We are not looking to take advantage of anybody. If you walk in and you decide it's not for you, raise your hand and we'll take care of you 100% on that. And that, by the way, is across the board. That's kind of a cultural thing we like to build towards our sellers. You know that we try to provide best-in-class customer support. Your people, like if you have a seller on your or a buyer on your page, they can actually call a phone number and we'll answer it on our side. These are not false promises. We mean them. So yeah, if you're in there and you just decide for whatever reason it's not for you, feel free to raise your hand and we'll make sure we take care of you. Again, I want to reiterate, we're trying to build a culture in both fast track and elite that is kind of positive, where people have a growth mindset, where we can all help each other succeed. That's one of the things that's very important for us to do. So we also have to lead by example, and that includes, if you're not happy, we'll make sure to help you out. So let's see. I think that's it. All right. So If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to start selling, or if you're in Facebook and you've never started selling with us, go to ShineOn.com. It takes like 60 seconds to sign up, and you can get started today. If you're on YouTube, you need to make sure you join our Facebook group. We jump so much incredible content here. It's insane the value we provide here. Go to bit.ly/GoShineOn to join our Facebook group. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you're on Facebook and you want to subscribe, go to youtube.com/c/ShineOnPod. And then finally, Instagram, you can find us at ShineOn, just at ShineOn. So thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate everybody. We hope you have an amazing week and happy selling. Take care.